discuss with others. I go first.
Yeah.
I introduce the process.
Just want to make sure HDMI, right?
This is HDMI.
HDMI.
HDMI. Okay. So let's see if it works. Do I need to install anything?
No, he saw you.
No, it's not working. They presented me.
I have to turn this on.
Yep.
That could help.
Thanks. So, Martin, you stay around at some point. Perfect. Oh no. I did that already. Try PC screen on and then you go back to it. So nothing operational. Gonna get this presentation. You want me to email
Wir
this
können ja einfach mal B1.
to you? So this is yeah, but it,
Yeah, we don't have.
yeah.
So Chicago's labs kids they start after labor. That would be easy.
Oh, and sorry. No, we talked.
What's that?
When you were like 6, 7, you still remember that.
So apparently this is a big deal. I do remember. Well, I mean, the nice thing about it is that she's for the most part, not always, most part, and we have a conversation. All the stuff we did at high school. It's narcissism. But it was a positive. Yeah, it's okay. My daughter's definitely. Yeah. She gets it. I grew up that
I'm emailing this to Heinrich.
Is this yours or is this mine? Yeah, we'll give it to you. I will make the announcement.
Wait a minute because the slides are not working. Irish? Where's Irish? I mailed to you. Sorry. I emailed the presentation.
Yeah, but the internet is basically not really working here.
So, will my slides project as well, or do I need to give you my slides as well?
I don't know whether you tested it.
I didn't test it.
Then, so we can show all the slides from the back if you want to. Yeah, but it's still not good. So I think like
I will try, but I will also give you my slides.
transcend. Okay.
You don't need to transcribe now. People have been asking. You don't need to. It is just that people have, we have so many questions. So I just wanted to come to, if you come to the front, I would just show that you're a real AI. A real I. Our I.
Because if I have to put it on my slides too.
A real I, a real intelligence.
Well, I can, since, yeah, I think I can start everything again.
Okay.
Does your work?
See?
Maybe if I close some of the.
Ask them to like turn on the projector, see if mine works.
Henrik, can you turn on projection?
Does it work?
Yeah, mine works.
Can you give it back to me? Okay.
Okay, welcome back to the final session of that conference. It's a non-scientific event. We will have basically the very first, at least the very first part is scientific still. It's going to be the awards session. After that, we will have a presentation of RSS 2020. And then we will have our so-called town hall meeting, and where we actually take your opinions about this conference and what should be changed for the future. And then there will be a few closing remarks, and then we will basically leave for having a great evening in Freiburg again. Hopefully. Okay. Before we start, I've just one comment. There had been a couple of questions to us how actually the transcriptions work and what cool software that is that does it, because it seems to be like also do vision recognition of like understand that people are actually pointing at slides. No, it is not AI, it's real intelligence. It's Shanti Lira. Shanti, where are you? Can you stand up? She does it like she's a professional, I don't know what the exact name is, but she's professional transcriptor, or what is the right name? Real-time stenographer. And she has a very cool keyboard and does this actually online. And she did this last year in Pittsburgh also, and at least I could see a real learning curve about all the technical terms that she is not knowledgeable about. And also, we are way too fast. That's something that I learned from her. So next time to have better transcriptions, get slower, please. Yeah. Okay, let's start. First, a few remarks to Antonio, from Antonio, about program and things like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the conference has been great, I think. All the organization, and we will have ways of thanking Wolfram and all the great staff here. But it's also a scientific program and other programs. So let's see a little bit what we have been through. These are the people who helped organize this the program. And of course, Hadas was general chair, which means basically that she was program chair and did all the work last year, and also transferred all the knowledge to this year. Important, Maren Benevitz and Lucia Pallottino did the whole workshop thing, which was a lot of work, and I think the workshops were one of the highlights of this conference. I hope you agree. Yanis Avutis did a very good job as publicity chair. Heinrich did an incredible job in setting up all the presentation videos that work so smoothly for you in these days. Thank you very much, Heinrich, for taking that also kind of last minute, and I appreciated that very much because it would have killed me completely. Seth is publication chair, Tucker Hermans and Jan Skober inclusion chairs, pioneers chairs were Teska Fitzgerald and Abhinav Valada, and web chairs Vera Winterhalter and Freya Fleckenstein, who were also very available. Thank you, Vera and Freya. Are you here? Because we have, hi. We've had kind of hundreds of emails between you and me, and I never saw you before. Thank you so much. We had 272 submissions overall. This is more than 20% more than last year. So RSS is growing. Robotics is growing, and RSS is keeping pace. Maybe we could grow even more. I don't think our point here is becoming the biggest or the largest or growing very fast. We care about quality more than, but growing is not bad after all. So it's good that we grow. RAL RSS was the new thing. We got 30 submissions, 11%. I think it's a good start. And I probably will be larger if we continue doing that, because most of you didn't know of the option, and this year it was the first time. We accepted 85 papers, as you know, and that means 31%. So it's hard to get here. And of course, this raised questions in rejecting papers. We had to reject many very good papers. I read papers that I really wanted to have in the program, and we couldn't. That was the point. So those papers shouldn't, authors that have not been accepted shouldn't take it as personal. It was just that the bar was so high. We had 31 submissions, and we selected 21. And we had the luxury of having room for many workshops, so we didn't have to be very selective. And we also believe that workshops are there for being open-minded. So we selected those that were, looking promising, and I think it was working very well. Thank you, Lucia and Maren again. Submission by countries. Of course, RSS is mostly US submissions. This is 66% coming from the United States of America. United Kingdom is second with 7%, and Switzerland is the same. Germany is 4%, Singapore 3%, Italy is 1%, and then the rest is all 1%. So that is speaks about what RSS is still today, mainly American. We did our best to make it more diverse. You will see later on, but we have to work more on this. Acceptance rate, these are the submissions and the accepted numbers per country this year. So these are basically the same numbers as before. We present here the ratio between submissions and accepted in different countries. USA is out of scale, so it's down here because they would squeeze everything down the other way. As you can see, the Italian program chair didn't take advantage of his position to favor his own country's submissions. These are the keywords that had submissions, more than 10 submissions. So you can see a little bit how it goes. And of course, deep learning is number one, motion path planning, learning from demonstration, AI-based methods, learning and adaptive systems, autonomous agents, optimization and optimal control, multi-robot systems, visual learning, localization, visual-based navigation, human-centered robotics, biological-inspired robotic, manipulation planning, object detection, segmentation, path planning for multiple. That's the style, that's the flavor of this conference. And we are working on making it more interdisciplinary, but that's the DNA, basically, of this conference. As a result of our reviews, of course, we made several rejections, many rejections. And I was happy to see that I only got 4 emails, negative emails, about complaining about the decisions, that it was not motivated enough. All of them were related to decisions that we made in the program committee meeting when we met in person in Pisa, in my place. And we went really through. Maren was there, Lucia was there, several of you, Alberto was there. And you remember, we made several decisions. So some papers we really had to go through, and then we decided that they were maybe not at the level of the threshold, so we rejected. We didn't report to all of those papers that were at that level the complete discussion that we had in person. And that was, we should have probably. But except for those 4 out of 272, I only received positive feedback. So I'm very happy, and I even received this email, which made me happy, because it's very good that you receive some positive emails, and I just got this, and I just wanted to share. So these are the people who did all the work for reviewing and accepting, declining, giving you feedback in this conference. So let me name them. If they are here, I would like them to come on stage and join us together with all the publicity and the workshops chairs and so on and so on and so forth. Brenner Gall, Ferdinando Baena y Rodriguez, Janet Bogg, Darwin Caldwell, Han Lim Choi, Alessandro De Luca, Marco Hutter, Matt Johnson-Robertson, Mirko Kovac, Cecilia Lasky, Waping Liu, Francisca Meyer, Trishantanana Yakara, Paolo Robuffo Giordano, Alberto Rodriguez, Julie Shah, and Jensian Venture. So from reading the list, I realized that only very few of them are still here, because many have left already. So just give them a round of applause, because they really deserve it. And with this, I think I will close. This was the process by which we evaluated also the candidates for the best papers. And now we asked Nick Roy to be the chair of the awards committee, and he organized this process in the ways that he will now present to you. So thank you, Nick. My pleasure.
Oh, great. All right. So thank you very much, Antonio. Actually, you didn't ask me. You asked Gaurav Sakatme. So for the purposes of this discussion, I am Gaurav Sakatme. So Gaurav sadly couldn't be here at the last minute, so I agreed to help out. And Maren Benovitz, also Cyril Stockness, Dieter Fox, Oliver Brock, and George Pappas were also part of the committee. So thank you very much to them. Antonio, very kindly, with the help of the area chairs, identified the best papers, and you saw the best paper presentations on Monday, along with the posters. But just to refresh our memory, the best paper nominees were?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So the best paper nominees were Equivalence of the Projected Forward Dynamics and the Dynamically Consistent Inverse Solution by Joao Moura, Vladimir Ivan, Mustafa Safi Erden, and Setu Vijay Kumar. Common Sense Reasoning and Knowledge Acquisition to Guide Deep Learning on Robots by Tiago Mota and Mohan Sridharan. Robot picking, I actually can read better there. Robot packing with known items at non-deterministic arrival order by Fan Wang and Chris Hauser. A magnetically actuated antedated jellyfish-inspired soft milliswimmer by Xiao Ren, Tianlu Wang, Wenqi Hu, and Metin Siti. And finally, an idiothetic verticality estimation through head stabilization strategy by Ilda Fakatinov, Hanna Michalska, Alan Bertos, and Vincent Hayward.
So let's congratulate the nominees.
Again.
In addition to the best paper nominees, we also had the best systems paper nominees because after all, this is robotic science and systems. And so the nominees were Network Offloading Policies for Cloud Robotics, a learning-based approach by Sandeep Chinchali, Apurva Sharma, James Harrison, Amine El Hafsi, Daniel Kang, Evgenia Pergament, Eyal Sidon, Sachin Kati, and Marco Pavoni. Learning to Throw Arbitrary Objects with Residual Physics by Andy Zhang, Sharon Song, Johnny Lee, Alberto Rodriguez, and Thomas Funkhauser. Differentiable Algorithm Networks for Composable Robot Learning by Peter Karkas, Xiao Ma, David Su, Leslie Kaelbling, Wee-Sun Lee, and Tomas Lozano Perez. Modeling and Control of Soft Robots using the Koopman Operator and Model Predictive Control by Daniel Bruder, Brent Gillespie, David Remy, and Ram Vasudevan. And lastly, an online learning approach to model predictive control by Nolan Wagoner, Ching An Cheng, Jacob Sachs, and Byron Boots. So let's congratulate them.
So we first present the Best Student Paper Award. This award goes to an online learning approach to model predictive control. Congratulations.
Don't run away. One more for whoever. And stand there for a picture, man.
Happy, hey.
Good.
So our next award is the Best Systems Paper Award in memory of Seth Teller, and I'd like to invite Matt Walter to join us on the stage for the presentation, as Matt was instrumental in establishing an award in the memory of our good friend and colleague Seth Teller. And the winner of the Best Systems Paper Award is Learning to Throw Arbitrary Objects with Residual Physics. Why don't you go on the other side of them? There's more.
Yes.
So, finally, we present the Best Paper Award. The winner is a magnetically actuated untethered jellyfish-inspired soft milliswimmer.
And those are the 3 RSS awards, but also at RSS each year we present the Best IJR Paper of the Year award. And it's my pleasure to announce that the Best IJR Research Paper of the Year is Continuous Time Gaussian Process Motion Planning via Probabilistic Inference by Mustafa Makaran, Jing Dong, Xin Yan, Frank Delert, and Byron Boots. Can I give you these? I have to do one more thing, not really the awards. So the next point in the presentation, I take off my hat as Gaurav Sakatme. Normally Sebastian Thrun would now be here, but he can't be here either, so I put on my Sebastian Thrun hat and assume a German accent. Many of you may know that Oliver Brock has been the president of the RSS Foundation, which is the governing body for this conference for the last 7 years. And the president is a 7-year term. So Oliver asked Sebastian Thrun, as the previous president, to establish a committee to identify the next president. And so Sebastian asked myself and Gaurav to, so I guess I'm wearing Sebastian and Gaurav's hat at this moment. But before I announce the new president of the foundation, Oliver's not here, but I'd still very much like to give him a round of thanks for his yeoman service in making RSS the success it is today. So for Oliver, in your train, thank you very much. And it is my pleasure to welcome Hades Kreskazit, Madam President, to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Very exciting. Actually don't have nothing to say, so I'm going to take my hat of a president who just officially started, I guess, Monday, and put my general chair hat. And first of all, thank Antonio and Wolfram and Bettina and all the organizing committee for the phenomenal job that they did. So this was a beautifully organized, exciting program with amazing workshops. And just, I'd like to thank them, and yeah. All right, so before we open up for the town hall, we'd like to talk about RSS 2020. So Jeff, so RSS 2020 will be at?
Oregon State University.
You probably want it,
Okay, hi, so I'm Jeff Hollinger, here to talk about RSS 2020, which is going to be in the lovely Corvallis, Oregon. This is the Bald Hill hike, which is probably within biking distance of the conference venue. I go up there monthly, beautiful panoramic view. We had a dry run of this. We did an OSU 150 event in the venue, the Lascelles Stewart Center, and I can tell you it has very cool air conditioning and Wi-Fi. Though OSU Secure is a little spotty, and we have plenty of room for posters, so it should be a lovely venue for it. July 12th will be the Pioneers Workshop, July 13th through 14th, the regular workshops, 15th through 17th, the main conference. So how do you get to Corvallis, Oregon? You may not know. Typically, you fly into Portland. You can get there from virtually anywhere in the world with a lot of nonstop flights. If you have a connection, you might consider Eugene Airport. Portland Airport's about an hour and a half from the venue. Eugene's about 45 minutes, but fewer flights there. If you're interested in seeing Seattle, you could fly into Seattle and take the Amtrak train down. So that's how you get there. Why would you want to come to RSS 2020? So, of course, since it's RSS, there will be insightful talks and wonderful workshops, and you get to tour the lovely robotics facilities at Oregon State University. But in addition to that, that is not photoshopped. That is, in fact, a man skiing in a sleeveless t-shirt. So there's summer skiing up on Mount Hood. There's the Oregon coast, which rarely gets above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a coast. It's not a beach. But it's beautiful, and it's scenic, and in July, it may even be warm, though that's rare. Crater Lake National Park is a top-notch national park that's about 3 hours from Oregon. And then lastly, there are wineries. The banquet will be at a very nice winery that I go to every Memorial Day for a concert, so that should be quite nice. If you like Pinot Noir or Pinot Gris, this is the place for you. Also, if you prefer beer, there's the Deschutes Brewery, the Rogue Brewery, the Ninkasi Brewery. Those are all Oregon breweries. So I like to say, I'll close with this, that there are some places that have better beer, some places that have better wine, but if you think about an appropriately weighted objective function of the quality of the beer and the quality of the wine, coming to RSS 2020 is the optimal, Pareto optimal choice. Thank you. I hope to see you there.
Okay, so the final thing we typically do at RSS is we have a town hall. So Antonio, if you can join me, Wolfram. So this is basically an opportunity to hear back from the community, things that worked well, so it doesn't all have to be criticism. Things that worked well, things that you particularly liked, things that could be done better, things that, new ideas, whatever. RSS started as a grassroots conference, and the town hall, which is a kind of unique thing with conferences, is something that's really in the culture. So please. There.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity to provide feedback. So I think I speak for a lot of the international researchers here in saying that because obviously we're missing a lot of people, authors here. So I would suggest that if for future conferences there are either in the United States or Europe or anywhere to leave a little bit more time for authors to deal with visa issues. Thank you.
Yeah, and this was brought up at the board meeting on Monday, and this is a thing which we struggle with. I think next year it's going to be slightly better because it's later in the year, so it's the July 12th versus end of June. But yes, duly noted, we will make that happen. So the number that we got was around 8 weeks. If anybody has worse numbers than that, let us know.
So in terms of worse numbers, actually, it's a mixture of things that causes visa issues, extra processing, and also ability to get an appointment. I think ICRA does a better job in terms of giving us more buffer time between the acceptance and the conference itself, and probably even more than 8 weeks, because 8 weeks is only 2 months is better. Around 3 to 4 months would be ideal.
So you bring up an excellent point. The time between ICRA submissions and ICRA conference, it's much longer than the time between RSS submission and RSS conference. So there are constraints. So those are kind of conversations we're having at the board in terms of how to move things around. But duly noted, we really realize this. The things that we're trying to do to mitigate that a little bit, and started last year, was to stream the conference. So it's not great for the authors that couldn't get in to present. It's terrible. But at least they have access, everybody has access to the work being presented here. So, and the proceedings are, of course, free and online and so on. But it's, I don't have a good, and it looks like it's getting worse, the visa situation, so especially with the US. So we'll do our best.
Both questions are related to the same issue. You know, we have this traditional submission deadline of February 1st. And it's hard to bring it much earlier because of vacation time. So people feel that if we go earlier, it should be probably before vacations. The end of this period is when we have the conference. And this year, by some reasons, it was pretty early. So typically next year will be July, I think, right? We just saw that. And that will be more comfortable to people. So the combination of these two factors that makes it a little bit short in time, and probably next year will be a more relaxed thing. But anticipating the submission deadline is probably not well received by many in the community.
Anything else? There's one here.
Hello?
Yeah.
To better prepare for the captions next year, it would be best if everyone submitted their talks in a Word format or any format electronically beforehand, because then it can be scripted and it will be clear in case everyone is speaking kind of faster if someone's nervous. And for those who are deaf and hard of hearing, then it'll be clear for them to read.
You mean with like spoken or?
Yeah, the script. I mean the script, right?
Scripts.
Yeah, that we will try.
I know people.
I'm not good at that, at scripting talks. But.
I know people who finish their slides the minute before the talk.
You know, even within an hour is fine. Within an hour is fine.
It's a good point. We'll keep that in mind for sure. Thanks.
So I guess I'm going. Related to that point, I think it's great that we have video format presentations, but I kind of miss the presenter view that I have on PowerPoint. So just a suggestion, if this is possible, if we could either have teleprompters, or if we could just have a second video that we can control on that screen with like maybe some more information for the speaker, that will just make the whole quality of the conference a little better, or the video.
What type of information do you mean? I mean, there are pointers you could use, right?
So I would like that some of the video, some of the screens are just not text, because I personally like that. And I would like to talk on that video, but I would like some text for my reference.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's possible, but I think that might be, if it's possible, it'll be a great addition.
I'm not sure. We will consider that. I think it makes sense. I'm not program chair, or really, I have nothing to do with the program.
Yes, I probably should mention this, right? So next year it's at Oregon. Antonio, as a tradition, is going to be the general chair, which is basically as a way to pass over information from year to year. Marc Toussaint, is he here? He's gone. He is the program chair, and Julie Adams and Bill Smart in Oregon are the local arrangements. So yeah.
I think it's feasible. I mean, we could have a second screen showing your text, and then you can advance it. I saw people doing that on their phones. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's better this way.
Other comments or questions or Alberto?
If there are any thoughts, I mean, Antonio mentioned the question about growth just in the community. If there are any sort of thoughts in the committee on how to handle that, looking not just for next year, but in the next 5 years. If we want RSS to stay the same size, or?
So in general, we would like it to grow. We would not like it to stagnate. Do we want it to grow as fast as CVPR? I don't know if that, I don't know. So one of the characteristics of ours.
As fast as CVPR?
What?
As fast as CVPR?
No, as big, grow as big.
Okay.
That, thank you. One of the things that a lot of people like is a single track nature. So single track nature can be kept, well, the numbers are reasonable. So what's going to happen in the future is something that keeps getting discussed on the board, and we'll see, right? If next year we get 500 submissions instead of 272, we'll see. If we get 2,000 submissions, then then Mark is going to have a hard time, to be honest.
And is that something that should be advertised before people decide to submit?
Advertised what?
Like the format, like
The plan of the format is currently to maintain the single track.
Okay.
There's no discussion currently about moving to multi-track but one of the nice things, and let me put a pitch out for future program chairs. One of the nice things about RSS, which I really enjoyed when I was program chair last year, was the decision making the program chair makes. So basically, it is up to the program, mainly the program chair and the local arrangements chair, to come up with whatever they want to do. Introducing new things, trying new ideas. Really, RSS, the way we want to position ourselves is this is the place to try new things. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, we don't do it again. So that's kind of the idea. So single track is good because everybody gets to see everything, and there's something in the vibe of this conference that is really nice, as opposed to the larger conferences are also amazing, but they have a different feel. So we'd like to maintain that, but within that, trying to be creative about new ideas and how to show the best in the field. That is open up for program chairs to play around with. Cyril?
Just a minor thing from the organization point of view, but something I really liked here is that, for example, coffee and things were available all the time, so you could easily skip a session or stay a bit longer and not at whatever ICRA errors where basically the coffee mug is taken away from you once you're 1 minute late. So there's something I really appreciated here, and I would like to suggest to keep that for the future.
I'll let Julie know. But knowing Julie, it's probably already on her mind. So.
I'm also taking notes, so
Oh, excellent, Jeff. Yep.
So what are your thoughts on having a rebuttal session?
So rebuttal is again, a loaded thing. So each program chair can decide to do so. There were a few years that had rebuttals. Most of the years, as far as I remember, did not. So last year did not, the year before did not. RSS has the extra complication of the short time frame. So if we were to have another rebuttal phase in the middle, the decisions will come out even later, because the reviews take a while and so on. So, I mean, my personal opinion is that rebuttals are typically not worth it. because they very rarely change reviewers' mind. I've never seen anybody change their mind because of a rebuttal, and it adds a lot of work for everyone. What I do suggest, and this we did to a very minor extent last year, and I don't know what Antonio did, was if there's clear misunderstanding, the AC can always, through the program chair, because it's double blind, go to the authors and request a clarification, so a specific clarification. We could do that if you want. But a rebuttal, but this again, this is, Mark will decide what he wants to do. We don't have necessarily clear guidelines, but the timing is tight. You want me to call?
No, you said that right. I mean, there is no time, basically. That's the point. I also agree that I don't see that. I have run conferences with rebuttal and without rebuttal. I've also seen papers that were rejected in a conference and got the best paper award in another conference. That's the best way to rebut. You had one? Yeah, so that's the best way to rebut, I would say. Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
Let me just see if it doesn't look like. So just as a final thing, if you have any comments and you're uncomfortable saying them here, it's totally understandable. Send me an email. If you have any suggestions of how to make this a better experience for everybody, let me know, let anybody on the board know, and yeah. Thank you for all the comments.
Great. Thank you. So before coming to an end, I need to apologize, in fact, for the wireless connection here. Some people enjoyed it because they couldn't work and couldn't receive emails. So this is the advantage of it. And I saw substantially fewer people doing their email and spamming all of us with emails during the conference. So it also has some advantages. Okay, but now we are going to come to the end. And in order to do this, like this is the saddest moment of the conference, saying goodbye to all of you, I actually want to invite all the people with white shirts who were in the organization onto the stage so that you can actually see what it involves organizing a conference. And I cannot give the names of all of them. It's simply too many. So, get closer, get closer. I don't bite. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to you, right? Goodbye. Thank you for coming. Have a safe trip home. Yeah, we're going to turn around. See you next year in Oregon. Goodbye.